Hello everyone, this is G and I'm back with another video. I hope everybody is well on this cloudy Sunday afternoon. Or at the very least it's a cloudy Sunday afternoon here in New York City. We've been dealing with rain for the past week and a half now. So I just want to just briefly touch upon Chelsea Handler and her again going crazy online because a black rapper dared to say anything positive about Donald Trump. So, I made a video a few days ago giving my opinion on her having to remind 50 Cent, who's a very well known, successful, prominent, rich black man, black rapper, entertainer, that he was a black person and therefore he can't vote Trump. Right? So, that video was well received. Thank you all so much. So now Chelsea apparently is at it again. I have to thank the channel SC Reviews, I believe it's called, because it was through perusing his channel that I heard about this, and I figured, hey, I commented on Chelsea once. Why not give my opinion on her again? So I apologize for the resolution of this image. For some reason, my image editing software is the text is not coming out right. I don't know why. I gotta look into that. But I'm gonna read what the tweet says here. So, Lil Wayne, right, tweeted that just had a great meeting with Donald Trump. Besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, the Platinum Plan is going to give the community real ownership. He listened to what we had to say today and assured he will and can get it done. Now, for those who may not be aware, first of all, let's be clear, this is not necessarily a vote for Donald Trump tweet, right? It's a positive tweet about him, right? But I wouldn't quite put it so far as him saying, vote Trump, which is what 50 Cent actually did say, right? Now, of course, my personal opinion is that, look, Trump's a politician. I don't trust politicians. They make promises they don't always keep. But that is again my opinion, right? And if he had a positive experience with President Trump, good for him, right? Now, the Platinum Plan is something that I believe also Ice Cube mentioned when he was criticized both by white celebrities and by black Twitter and black celebrities for daring to speak with President Trump because what he wanted to do, I did a little research reading into this. What he wanted to do, and what I think the Platinum Plan is about, if I remember correctly, is investing like $500 million at least into African American communities. Now, whether this will actually happen, whether it will actually lead to anything positive, any positive growth for the community, is beyond me. Right? It's one of those things where you don't know until it happens. But Lil Wayne, so I apologize. Lil Wayne and Ice Cube have both received criticism for daring to go to Trump and actually say anything positive about him and go to Trump in behalf, one could say, of the black community. Now, Ice Cube has come out and said that, look, he went to the Democrats and the Republicans, and it was only Trump who was willing to actually speak with him, interestingly enough, prior to the election, right, and discuss this. And that's why he said, look, it's basically, he was the only guy willing to hear me out. What do you want me to do? To which with him I agree. It's like if you're trying to get something done and everybody's turning you away, of course you're gonna talk to the one person and do business with the one person who's willing to hear you out. Right? So again, right, Little Wayne says, hey, we had a great meeting, he's this is certainly positive and one couldn't say an endorsement of what Trump has done thus far. Right? So it's a positive Donald Trump tweet. Okay, whatever, fine. So Chelsea Handler, because apparently she believes that she's the handler of African American rappers, right? Chimes in saying, as a white person, it is unacceptable for me to tell anyone of color how to vote. This didn't stop her from trying to tell 50 Cent how to vote, but anyway. But I can remind anyone who supports Donald Trump that he is a white supremacist, and it is our responsibility as a society to stand up to white supremacy and say no more. Now, of course, What this is really trying to do, in my opinion, is in a roundabout way accuse Yeezy of being a race traitor, right? And saying that he supports white, that, or rather, that Yeezy is supporting white supremacy by saying anything positive about Trump. In other words, what Chelsea is trying to do here is basically call Yeezy a coon, as I explained in the previous video. For those who may not be familiar with the term, to call a black person in particular, to call a black person a coon is to basically call them a sellout. In particular, a sellout to a powerful white person, right? It's basically calling them the house slave or the house N word, right? So to me, that's what she's trying to do in a very roundabout way. Oh, he supports a white supremacist. He's a coon. He's a race traitor. No, he's not. He's an entertainer. He's an entertainer, at least according to his own account, talking to the one person who's willing to hear him out. Now, again, do I necessarily believe that this platinum plan is going to give the community real ownership? Not really, because as I've said in previous videos, I don't think politics can save or resurrect or pull the black community out of the problems it has and out of the, in many ways, uh, pitiful state it's in. Only we can do that. We have to come together as a community and do that and stop depending on political parties or political leaders to do that. So that's my opinion. But again, I'm not going to shame Yeezy for having a different viewpoint or for working with a Republican or talking to the president or anything else. But anybody who says anything, especially if you're black or if you're associated with a black person, you get criticized. Even, what's her name? Kim Kardashian was criticized, although I don't think this was as well publicized. But even she was criticized for going to Trump and basically advocating um, on the behalf of several women who I think were, they had been convicted of crimes, and she got them basically pardoned. She basically went to him and she asked him to pardon a few women that have sort of reached out to her for help because apparently uh, Kim has decided to try to get into her old man's profession. For those who may not know, Kardashian is the daughter of a lawyer. Her father, I think, was one of the lawyers who was on the defense team for O.J. Simpson when that whole case happened in the mid 1990s, if I remember correctly. Right, so she's following in her old man's footsteps, it seems, and she's trying to get certain people pardoned, right? Right, certain criminals pardoned for their crimes. Now, personally, I disagree with it because I disagree with basically jumping the system, right? Jumping the line. There's a process you have to go through to get a pardon, and there's a lot of legal work in it, and you gotta there's a lot of steps to it. There's a lot of steps to it, and she's basically jumping the line. She's, in my opinion, Kim is using her fame and celebrity, and let's make it clear, she's not a lawyer. She is not a licensed attorney, and she's basically jumping to the head of the class and asking the teacher to give these pardons. So I have great concerns and criticisms regarding that, regarding bucking the established system to get the result you want. But that I don't even know if she personally supports Trump. I know Kanye does. But whether or not she supports Trump as a politician doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is how she's using her celebrity and her ability to gain access to him to get a certain result. And I disagree with bucking the process is basically it, but not with her being a Trump supporter. If she is, I don't care either way. Anyway, my point in all this is that all sorts of, again, 50 Cent, Yeezy, Ice Cube, Kanye, and many, many others have received criticisms for even speaking with Trump, and now, of course, some of them, like 50 Cent, say, "Hey, vote for the guy." So I just find it interesting that Chelsea just can't let it go. She just can't let a black person, a black man, a black rapper, have his own opinions. She has to come in. She, the white knight. She, the white savior. She, the white woman, right? The the person with the white woman's burden has to come in and basically tell him what for, right? She has to come in and say, "Hey, you can't do that." And here's the thing, she knows. Because here's the thing, she's no doubt aware of all the flack she's caught from the black community, right? And all the flack she has caught for trying to be so overt about establishing control over 50 Cent. So this time she tries to do it in a more clandestine way, right? Saying, look, as a white person, I, it's not acceptable for me to tell anyone of color how to vote. But, right, and anytime someone does that, we all know that, but everything afterward is them really trying to say what they supposedly can't say in the first part, right? So here she's saying, "Oh, it's unacceptable for me to tell anyone of color how to vote," but and then the rest of it is trying to tell a person of color how to vote, and by extension, tell people of color who support Lil Wayne how to vote, by implying that if you as a black person support Donald Trump, right, then you support white supremacy because he's a white supremacist, allegedly. Keep in mind, Chelsea Handler making this claim never gives any proof that Trump has done anything or said anything that could be considered in support of white supremacy. Keep in mind, Joe Biden was the one who said on Charlemagne the God's podcast that, that infamous, if you're black and you vote Trump, then you ain't black, right? He's the one. You have this privileged old white man in Biden, right? Both of them are old privileged white men, but we have this old privileged white man in Biden who's trying to claim a person's racial identity because they won't vote for him. Whereas with Trump, we have an old privileged white man who actually tries to appeal to at least the rappers, right? Because here's the thing, Trump, Trump and his persona and the rap persona are very similar, right? Braggadocious, loud, in your face, very flashy, attention getting, and always showing off money, right? I got the money, I got the girls, I got the house, I got the car, right? All this stuff. So there's actually a lot in common between the public persona Trump shows off and the public persona your average rapper shows off, which I think is a huge reason why so many rappers are coming out in support of him, because he speaks their language, as it were. He speaks their language. They like that image because it's the image they um, themselves portray. And Snoop Dogg knows this because Snoop Dunn has taken pics, and you can find them online, with Trump before it became oh, now you have to hate Trump, right? So all I'm not gonna say all, but most rappers seem to have a positive view or interaction of Trump, which makes sense, right? You're gonna feel more comfortable with somebody who is like you, even if on its face you two look very different. Plus, at least if you go by the I guess testimony you could call it of Lil Wayne and Ice Cube, Trump seems to be the only person, right? And again, you have two candidates. You have Biden, who needs the black vote. You have Trump, who needs the black vote. Yet, according to them, again, just going by what they've said, Trump was the only one who was willing to speak with them. So, when you have a case of an old privileged white man trying to claim your racial identity because you won't vote for him, and apparently he's not willing to meet with you, and you have another old privileged white guy who has a persona that you like, who speaks your language, and who's willing to at least talk to you, well, what do you expect rich black rappers to choose? So people are, or at least people like Chelsea Handler, I should say, are so shocked that black rappers are, going Trump. It's like, well, what did you expect? You basically froze them out. You froze them out. So they went to the one side that will take them in, that will hear them out. Whatever. But again, I just find it amazing that Chelsea again has to come in and play the white savior and try to tell a black man, try to tell a rich, privileged black man who's got his own. Right? I don't think him and Chelsea were involved in one at one point, but she has to pipe in again, come in and tell him what to do, right? While she's claiming that it's unacceptable for her to tell him what to do, but let me use the rest of this tweet to clandestinely tell you what to do. So, in honor of Chelsea, I'm gonna finish this video with a little song. Pray God we can all cope as Chelsea makes a fool of herself on Twitter. This white woman's work, this white woman's world is crashing down on her head. That was my little rendition of the amazing song This Woman's Work by Kate Bush, covered by Maxwell. I can't reach those highs, so I didn't try to. But listen to the original if you're interested. Beautiful song. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.